We are back here at Issues and Answers Friday. The number 219-885-1371. That number again, 219-885-1371. Yes. This summer has been hot labor summer, as my man Christian Smalls from Amazon Labor would say. There's been strikes left and right, and I think it's important to talk about this because, Labor Day is on Monday. That's what the holiday is really supposed to be, celebrating the rights of American workers. Actually, screenwriters sort of popped it off. They went on strike in early May after talks between their union and employers collapsed, ultimately freezing production in Hollywood. 1,100 screenwriters represented by the 11,000 screenwriters represented by the WGA are joined by 160,000 actors on strike. Now, why are actors and writers going on strike? Residuals. A big part of his residuals. Residuals are a big part of the current simultaneous strikes of Hollywood actors and screenwriters. They are a subject of constant agitation on the picket lines. Now, they used to reward stars with very handsome returns, on hits. But now union members say that they have diminished. The residuals that they get from all the TV shows and movies that you watch over and over again have diminished as the industry has shifted to streaming. Now, what are residuals? Residuals are long-term payments to those who worked on films and TV shows, negotiated by unions for reruns and other airings after the initial release. The basic pay structure was developed in 1960, the last time that writers and actors were on strike together. I believe Ronald Reagan was helping to lead that strike, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was a little bit after him. Traditionally, actors and writers are paid for each time a show runs on a broadcast or cable TV, or when someone buys a DVD, a Blu-ray disc, or a VHS tape. Whoa, we're way past VHS. Now, these payments have declined over time. They are pegged to several factors, including the length of a movie or a show, the size of a role, the budget of a production, and where the film or show is offered. While streaming companies technically pay residuals, both unions and their members say the amounts and pay timelines leave actors and writers with a pittance of what they once received, and those who were once paid in returns of network shows now are getting just about nothing, if not nothing. Now, how much are these worth? Like in Hollywood, the amounts run the gamut depending on, like I said, how big of a star you are, the role. More than a decade after Friends ended, that cast is making millions of dollars annually. The cast of Friends still makes millions of dollars every year just because they starred in Friends from like reruns and the rights and all that other stuff. But residual payments can easily amount to just a few pennies. Some actors have actually resorted to sharing their residuals on social media, including Kimiko Glenn of Netflix's Orange is the New Black, who made a TikTok video of a statement showing $27 in total foreign residuals earned over a decade. Wow, since the show began. $27. Wow, over a decade. That's $2.70 a year. The lack of such a steady income can mean the loss of union health care insurance for members who are required to earn $27,000 annually to qualify for coverage. The vast majority of actors don't qualify for this. So a lot of people, when they think about Hollywood actors, they think, oh, Brad Pitt, they think Denzel Washington, they think people making millions and millions of dollars, they think Dwayne the Rock Johnson. 80% of actors, working actors, don't make the $27,000 a year annually to qualify for health insurance. $27,000. And so now you know why they're going on strike. 3,000 workers have gone on strike at 150 Starbucks in June. 26,000 flight attendants at American Airlines just voted to authorize a strike. These workers haven't gotten a raise since 2019, with 99% of their contingency voting yes on a strike. The pilots over at American Airlines just won a 46% raise, and now it's the flight attendants' turn. Now, for some context, during the pandemic, our government gave billions of dollars, billions with a B, to the airlines. The airlines forced pilots and forced people into retirement and kept all the money for themselves. That's our money. And the airlines kept it, and they didn't want to give the workers that they had a raise, in spite of the fact that, again, the government, our money, has gone in their pockets. 6,000 hotel workers have walked out over increasing workloads with no pay bump in Los Angeles. Thousands of hotel workers all over Southern California have gone on strike, calling for higher wages and better benefits. Their union, the Unite Here Local 11, say it is the largest strike in the industry's history. Wow. The automotive industry's labor union, the United Auto Workers, yes, which represents about 150,000 workers at Detroit's big three car companies, Ford, GM, and Stellantis. Now they are negotiating, and the members of the United Auto Workers Union have overwhelmingly approved possible strikes at the nation's three unionized automakers next month. I think that would be this month, in September, as the union tries to win back many of the concessions that it lost more than 15 years ago and protect members during the transition to electric vehicles in the years ahead. The union said 97% of those participating in these strikes, in the strike authorization, voted in favor of possible strikes at General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, the company that sells vehicles under the Ram, Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler names. Now, with less than half of the year left, there have been 177 work stoppages according to Bloomberg's Law Work Stoppage Database. That's compared to the nearly 320 total strikes initiated by unions in 2022. Last year proved to be monumental for strikers, as it was the first time since 2005 where strike totals surpassed the 300 mark. But overall, the number of strikes this year is not nearly as large as the labor activity seen before the 1990s. The drop in labor action is due to a smaller share of workers represented by unions compared to the 1990s and before. American unions have been hollowed out since Ronald Reagan, one of the men who ruined America that I covered some months ago, since Ronald Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers in 1981. Ever since then, we have seen a decline in union membership all over America, and American workers have paid the price. So while strikes are rising, the percentage of national workers represented by a union has declined for well over a decade. Only 10% of workers in America are a part of a union, according to the most recent data from the BLS. Many workers are saying that conditions have worsened over the past 3 years since the pandemic first began, with rising costs of living. Pay has not kept up for frontline workers. For writers, issues behind the strike include pay raises and inflation, with the use of smaller writing staffs for shorter seasons of television shows, and control of artificial intelligence in the screenwriting process. So here we are, folks. Labor Day is coming up on Monday. I would like to see each and every one of us try to remember that organized labor built this country and built this region that we're a part of right now. I'm pretty much right down the street from U.S. Steel. I could basically look outside the window and see U.S. Steel, those smokestacks. Those were labor union workers who built that. United Steelworkers, United Auto Workers, SEIU. Support a union. Support a union. Because as the SEIU always say, we are stronger together. All right, folks. When I come back, I'm going to mop up and get on out of here.